This video contains a lot of strong profanity. It is not suitable for children or anybody who gets offended by swearing and strong profanity. Bye bye Hero 8. Bye bye Hero 9. But where is Hero 10? Hero 10 went straight back to GoPro because he was a useless fuck. In this episode of A Coffee with David. Yummy. I'll be asking the question, David Harry, why are you doing one of those stupid fuckhead videos that you always complain about? Alright, YouTube, it's me, your favourite vlogger and YouTuber, Mr. David Harry. And in this video, I'm going to be answering the question, what the fuck am I doing with a video like this? As in, doing all of that bullshit rumour bollocks, which is what tons of those channels do, who know fuck all about the stuff that they're talking about. And they also will never be buying the fucking shit they're talking about either. So why am I doing it then? It's dead simple. Views and subs, although I don't think I'll get many subs off this, but definitely views I'm going for here to try and grow the channel. So I'm just going to do some kind of fucking train wreck of a bullshit clickbait video right now. Anyway, just before we get into this, two quick things. First thing is, what am I using for the recording? Well, I'm using an SM7B here, which is plugged into a Triton FET-Ed, which is going into a Behringer UMC 202 HD audio interface, which is not being recorded via a computer, so it's not using a host at the moment. This is being powered by a USB power supply, and then this is being plugged directly into my Sony AX100, and looking at the levels there, I might be clipping, but who the fuck cares? And the second thing is this. I've got two media mods here which look like they're absolutely fucked, but they're not. What it is, these are being modified by me to actually sound way better than the fucking junk shit microphone that comes built in them by GoPro. So what it is, once I sell these two little fruity fucks here, I'm going to do some competitions on the channel giving away these things. Believe you me, they look like sacks of shit right now because of the way I've modified them, but they sound awesome. Anyways, diving into this then, so what I'm going to do here is just talk a bit about the GoPro Hero 11 Black. Now what it is right now, there has actually been some official pictures released. Now when I say official, they've not come from GoPro, but they've come from this German website who in the past have been like really good at like, you know, bringing out information ahead of the release dates of the GoPros. So right now what I'm going to do is just flash up some pictures on the screen which I've stolen from this website. Now what it is, I can't remember the name of the website. I'll flash it up right now, but there will be a link in the description below so you can go there and check it out. And if you're a dumb person like me whose only fucking language is English, then just use Google or whatever to translate the site because it's in German. Okay, so what I'm going to do here then is just get into like my favorite pastime, which is listening to my own fucking voice and monologuing, because one, I love myself, and two, I'm good at it. Anyway, so this is just going to be me rabbiting on about the GoPro Hero 11 Black. I'll probably just call it the GoPro from here on in. We know exactly what I'm talking about because I've used some bullshit picture for the thumbnail about the GoPro Hero 11 Black. Anyways, yeah, so what I've just shown you just then anyway was some images. I do believe that they are the correct pictures. However, there are no specifications whatsoever at the moment. And I just love the way all those fucking idiots make like a living out of like speculation over bullshit to do with specs. But the best of it is you people on YouTube who watch these things. Seriously, if it wasn't for you people watching this horse shit, then like, you know, this horse shit wouldn't exist. And all those fuckheads who do this type of stuff and talk about shit they've got absolutely no proof of wouldn't be able to do it. So I'm blaming you, YouTube. It's your fault for people like me doing this and all those other fuckheads doing it as well. Anyway, so those pictures anyway, I think that they're probably spot on, okay? So that's probably the first real thing that we now know about the GoPro, because that site there have actually been known for being very accurate ahead of the releases of previous GoPros. So what we've seen there is that this 11 is exactly the same as the 10, okay? Physically at least anyway. So I think that's one thing that we can all hang our hats on here instead of like, you know, wasting any more fucking precious brain space trying to work that one out. However, what's going on inside the GoPro? Well, the thing is, no fucker knows, because because until GoPro come out and tell us about it, then no one can officially say shit about that. But what I'm going to do here is just rattle on about a few things that I've noticed and stuff that's kind of come up, or things that I think should happen and stuff like that. And I'm talking about, like, you know, from the point of view of somebody who's used GoPros since like the very first 3, all the iterations of the 3, the 4, into the 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. I don't have the 10 now because I did send that one back. Actually, I didn't even send it back because it was bad. I only sent that one back because it wasn't such a big upgrade from the 9. So I kept the 9, sent the 10 back. Anyway, so as far as some of the stuff that's going on, will it do 6K? Will it do 120 frames at like 8K? Whatever all this nonsense is that people talk about, I don't think we're going to see any massive improvements within resolution and frame rate. In fact, I think it's highly likely to be exactly the same as what the 10 is. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I doubt very much that they're going to go to, say, like a GP3 or something like that. So it's probably going to end up using the same processor as what's on the 10. And that being the case, if the 10 was probably already being pushed a bit with that CPU or processor, then it's very unlikely that GoPro are going to run the risk of screwing up another GoPro by overpowering it with functions that the CPU and GPU and whatnot cannot like do. Oh yeah, and they do use GPUs in them as well, which is part of the processing system. Anyway, so I think it's going to be probably very similar to what we've seen with the 10 as far as its functions are concerned. However, I think they might make changes with the sensor, possibly the lens system as well. We might get a bit more efficiency, probably maybe to do with other things, because they could well increase the capacity of the battery. Battery size won't change at all, but GoPro have definitely got the ability to increase the actual capacity of the battery as far as power is concerned. And the reason why I say that is because Sony did this, with the Z series batteries for, I think they were introduced on the A7 Mark III, and they were a massive increase from the previous battery, which was the same size. So I think bottom line, what we're probably going to see is a change in the sensor. As to how much better or anything, I don't know. We'll get a change in the lens, hopefully, and maybe we'll get a slight increase in battery capacity with the same physical size. Now, the reason why I'm saying those things is because those are the things which would appear to be the most sensible things for GoPro to go ahead and do. Because let's face it, when a Hero 10 is working correctly, and to be perfectly honest as well, I think the Hero 10 quite possibly has been the most stable of the GoPros, like, you know, when they were first released, you know, going back to about the GoPro 5. Maybe actually the 5 wasn't that bad. Maybe from the 6 onwards, the 10 has probably been the best on release. So I personally don't think that there's much wrong with the 10. Maybe room for slight improvements within the UI and stuff like that, and the operation of the actual camera. As far as the back is concerned, we're seeing the exact same back. All these people going on about edge-to-edge displays and stuff like that, that's not happening. And why would GoPro do that? Because GoPro want to make the most amount of money that they can. So if they can reuse a whole bunch of stuff whilst doing like minor incremental increases in certain performance characteristics, that's what they're going to do. Do you know what I mean? All these big companies do that, especially someone like GoPro, because they don't really have much competition. Because the next time I hear some fuckhead on YouTube going on about like, oh yeah, well, GoPro have got to pull the rabbit out the hat with this one because of all the competition. GoPro don't have competition, right? If you want the best action camera, you're getting a GoPro. Now, you can go for all those myriad of like cheaper kind of copies and stuff like that. None of them can compete with a GoPro. And that's the reason why GoPro will still sit on their big fat asses and not innovate like massively anymore. And plus, like I say, there's probably not that much space within that form factor to innovate. I mean, some people were talking about like increasing the size of the camera. And it's like, well, then it won't be a convenient small action camera anymore, will it? That raises the other issue there as well of, that other thing. And it's not even a rumor, because the CEO of GoPro did come out in January just gone and made some mutterings about another line of GoPro camera that's going to come out. Not necessarily an action camera, I think he was kind of leaning more towards some kind of pro camera type of vibe. So basically, any of these extra things that people might be wanting to see with inside a Hero, I don't think that's going to happen. That's going to basically get shoved over to a new line of camera as far as I can see. So the bottom line is this: I think the Hero 11, if it's going to be based on the 10 and it's going to run as well as the 10 does. GoPro are probably going to come straight out the gates with a really good camera. It might be better for low light depending upon what they do with the sensor. But all those idiots asking for a 1-inch sensor and stuff like that, well, you get that 1-inch sensor and then you can kiss goodbye to your infinite depth of field and stuff like that. Now, if GoPro can work out some other way of doing this by using a 1-inch sensor so it'd be better for light, but they don't interfere with the boss field of view and the boss, like, you know, infinite, like, you know, depth of field that they've got and all the rest of it, which is one of the main reasons why people use the GoPros anyway. If they can do that, then fine. I think they could push it to a 1-inch, but I don't see how they're going to do that. So I think what we're going to see is a more efficient sensor, maybe something that's a bit bigger, or maybe they bump up the photo sites and stuff, or the size of the photo sites and stuff like that. Also, what I would personally like to see this go round is for them to do something with that USB-C audio, or sorry, not audio, but the USB-C interface. I would rather them keep that open as something that can like be used with other USB audio devices and stuff like that. Basically make it class compliant. So if you've got like a decent, say, USB-C microphone, you could go straight into that socket. Now, I'm not gonna hedge me bets on that one. I will suggest that that is something that might happen. They might just open up that port to be a bit more useful, because I think at the end of the day, the vast majority of people don't need to buy, you know, a media mod, because what it is, most people don't use the HDMI outputs. I don't know anybody who uses a GoPro who uses them with HDMI. Of course, there are going to be people that do that, and that will be the reason why the media mods will always be there, because GoPro are not going to go putting the HDMI back inside the camera, although technically what they could do is do HDMI over USB-C anyway, but I don't think they'll do that, because then they won't be able to sell these on top and all the rest of it. Anyways, I think that'll probably sum it up for my speculation so far. And I know it's probably not going to have been very sexy, because I'm not talking about the GoPro doing 8K and a zillion frames per second and all the rest of it. But I'm looking at this from the point of view of somebody who's used tons and tons of GoPros and has made, like, you know, many videos about them, and just being basically sensible with, like, you know, expectations over them. I think basically we're just going to get a slightly better 10 and hopefully some better improvements to do with battery, sensor, lens, and maybe some of the stuff to do with the UI and stuff like that. But let's face it, we already have a fantastic camera with the 10, and things like field of view and stability, seriously, how far better can GoPro go with those things than where they're already at on them with the Hero 10? Anyways, I'll leave it at that and dive off there anyway. Now, if anyone has got to the end of this video, thank you very much for watching it, and I will probably do some more of this bullshit stuff in the future as well, because like I say, other people are doing it, and it's just pretty stupid banging your head against the wall when you could be joining in and picking up views at least and stuff like that. Anyways, I'm David Harry. Thank you very much for watching this video. Take care and goodbye now.